Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin and its valuations against the US dollar. It is Monday, it is a new week, and let's jump right into look at what's going on. Yesterday, or last week, or at least yesterday, was a pretty impressive day of Bitcoin. Not necessarily, making any gains, but obviously making losses. It went down. It is now confirmed 6.25% um, from the top. So that would be around $65,000. We dropped about 13% overall against Bitcoin for that each kind of week, and here we are down, roughly 6% on the week last week, opening this week at a gain of 1% or so. But what's what's coming to what it looks like now is essentially just we're moving sideways. Um, if we look at the daily, we kind of see that we do still have higher lows, higher and higher lows, and higher highs, right? You could argue like it's something like this. Um, However, when you essentially look at it on the weekly time frame, you don't really get to see that. You see more of a sideways moving Bitcoin ever since the beginning of March. So we're coming into a month and a half of essentially sideways moving action with wicks to either side. Um, Volatility is down, and what I mean by volatility is I mean just these moves here that have been happening for weeks on end, week after week after week, posting gains week after week after week. We're essentially starting to move sideways, which is a good thing, mind you. We're still well above the 20-week moving average. The moving average now, remember I said it should reach about $44,000. It has. It's at $44,300, bringing the distance to the moving average from the moving average up. We're looking at, oh, sorry, let me, uh, distance to MA. Here we go. We are now 28%, above the 20-week moving average, which is which is still, fairly above. Like there's nothing really to be concerned about. Um, and that's still relatively bullish. And so that should give what we always talked about, one of the ways altcoins can really gain dominance, and that isn't to say altcoins already like we're not gaining against Bitcoin. I mean, look at this against dominance, is for sideways moving Bitcoin. And so when we look at, say, these two charts, Bitcoin and the Bitcoin dominance, you could see that, ever since we started to move sideways, which is essentially March 15th, we've been moving down, right? Which is quite interesting to see. You see it right here. This dominance just dropped against Bitcoin. A total of, from bottom to where we are right now, about, you know 10.48 percentage points on the dominance has been dropped in the same amount of time. Bitcoin has essentially been at the same price since March 15th, right? We closed on the week of March 15th at 57,381, and we are at 56,949. So I think it's pretty clear to me, and perhaps to all of you, that Bitcoin is moving sideways. Essentially, we've been moving sideways for one, 2, 4, 6, on to our seventh week. Okay, this is the sideways moving Bitcoin that we need. This is the kind of, it's almost the same as this moment right here, and we saw a lot of altcoins pop off. That isn't to say that, again, altcoins are not popping off. Altcoins have been popping off, but if this is to continue, then altcoins will continue to pop off. We'll most likely start to begin to see major cap altcoins start to move. That's my bet. We've seen smaller caps like VeChain make astronomical moves. I mean, I knew it could go above the line. I didn't know it would go that high. Um, I guess hindsight is always 2020, but at this moment, I did sell my position here, but here we are. But small cap coins have been moving. I am making the bet that larger cap altcoins are going to make a move. So that includes Ethereum. Chainlink is going to start to move. Um, Cardano has already moved, but it can continue. Litecoin and XRP are my current bets, along with Basic Attention Token, which has been doing quite well, ever since January. So that's essentially what my outlook if Bitcoin continues on like this. One thing also to take note of is a potential to move to the downside, um, and that is always possible, right? But because we're making such a strong base here at around, it's hard to make out, maybe $55,000 to $60,000 because we've been in that range for 7 weeks. We're making a strong base. We're making solid support at this level, and probably what's going to happen is that we could have a drop. Even from here, it's a 30% drop. But if you spread that, if it is going to drop, it's probably going to drop within the span of weeks, and and so the drop isn't going to be about 30%. It's probably going to be less because week over week, this moving average is going to go up. So the drop is going to be a little smaller. If that were to happen, then altcoins still has a chance to make up for the loss, and gain over Bitcoin that way. However, once Bitcoin makes contact with the 20-week, it's the market's going to hold its breath because this is a critical moment in Bitcoin's point of its bull run to see if it's going to continue. We need the support of the 20-week moving average in order to continue the bull run. That was extremely evident in the last cycle, this move right here, and also to some degree the cycle before that, where we made pretty big support. We dipped below it, but I would still consider this to be a part of that 20-week moving average. Um, and kind of cool down phase along that moving average until the next run up. So these are this is a quite important moving average to say the least, and so it's imperative for Bitcoin to at least be in the region, to hold support, and we're coming up to that close, but again we're 30% away, so it's not right at our doorstep. When it becomes 10%, that's when it becomes interesting. I mean, like this move here on the week, Bitcoin only needed to drop 12% in order for it to make contact with the moving average. um, where does that leave us right here? That gets us to about 20% down. We would have to drop 20% essentially, for us to make contact with the 20 weeks. So it's still a little bigger drop than it was before. So it's not necessarily yet in the conversation, but I always like to bring it up because we have seen 30-40% drops within a week, 2 weeks, right? This week alone on July 2017 was a 23% drop. So that is entirely possible. Another completely uh, possible scenario is Bitcoin continues to move up. This one I think is the least likely out of the three outcomes, essentially because we've been getting rejected at about $65,000 every single time. Um, we've been essentially just moving sideways. We haven't rejected and recovered. Um, we're just moving sideways and kind of bopping our heads above. And considering how extended Bitcoin is and compared to the rest of the market, um, it's quite possible that Bitcoin, this is going to be the top for now. For at least the short term. Uh, if we start to see dominance really, really kick in and we start talking about 40% dominance, 30% dominance, at which point I think that altcoins have finally caught up with Bitcoin, to some degree in terms of valuation against Bitcoin, and Bitcoin should be at that point sucking that liquidity back either in a major drop or an impressive rally. One of those two options can definitely suck up liquidity. But that's pretty much it for today, you guys. Yesterday was scary, but nothing to get too frightened over. Zoom out, go on to the weekly chart, and you'll see that we're moving sideways. Like this is just lack of volatility in Bitcoin, which is great, great for altcoins, but quite boring, and these moments in Bitcoin's time happens all the time where people get bored, Bitcoin's not doing anything. We get moments like these or these, and then a run up ensues. So sit tight. This could be a good opportunity to catch on some sleep that you missed. Or perhaps even look at other altcoins that haven't made impressive moves just yet, that are still within regions that have lower risk than before. Obviously one that I started talking about, but we'll continue to monitor is Tezos. I said that this bottom channel here would be a great accumulation zone. Unfortunately, it has left it as soon as I started talking about it. But we'll keep an eye on this. It could dip back down, and in which case I'll start accumulating. But that's pretty much it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.